Hello, everyone, and welcome to. We're gonna talk all things Cougar Town today. We're gonna talk Courtney Cox, Penny Can. No, I'm playing. We're actually Penny Can. What? No, if you know that show, it makes sense. No, today on Cowabunga Ranger Talk, I am Mascara, and with me, as always, is my partner right here, DTV 83, the original,
How's it going?
not a copy, the original article right here. Good, good, good.
Yeah.
Ready to have some fun today. Before we were like right before we were recording, I told you that I'm launching my fourth show, so I am like with
Yes.
the hours against me, and so I'm actually making the masks.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, so you caught me literally cutting out the eye holes for the masks for the new show. So that's
Yeah.
going on. Yeah, for Echo Reality Champs. In two
Nice.
days, I become a four-time series creator. Really excited for this stuff. See, like that, masks,
Yep.
stuff. Oh, and
Very cool.
hopefully, yeah, really excited. This is the this one is actually like the team of the good guys, the reality rogues. Your standard
Yeah.
the team one. This is Echo Darkness, who's the bad guy, the lead bad guy, if you will, and this is
Yeah.
BX Reality, who is the lead of the good guys, the reality rogues. And I'll put this to the side because this is not the Echo Reality Channel show. Uh, this is Cowabunga Ranger Talk. Little update too. So, you guys that follow us on the channel and things like that, me and DTV have been working behind the scenes a lot lately. That's why maybe there hasn't been an episode as steady, but we're getting back to it. We're getting back into the rhythm. It's just
Yeah.
we Yeah, we've been coming up with like if you actually check out the channel, you're gonna see like new thumbnails. More things are organized. The episode titles are more exact. So okay, this is episode one, two, whatever it is. So
hmm
fixing little things, channel maintenance. A lot of channel maintenance coming up. So
Yeah.
yeah, and one of the things that I wanted to do with kind of going into it and kind of organizing things a little more was since we're in our junior year I wanted to go back and start like, okay, what did we do in our first year, season one, if you
Yeah.
will, because we're technically in season three. So I wanted to organize that better and kind of see the progression of just the way we've been doing the show, because you always can get better. You could always get better
Oh,
at
yeah. Always.
things like that. But yeah, so for you guys that are subscribed to the channel on YouTube, and you're gonna see more steady things season three and season one, and everything's out. We just like a little bit of housekeeping, basically. We're doing some housekeeping.
Yeah.
DTV does a lot of work behind the scenes. Most recently, we dropped an episode of behind the scenes. DTV did, and that was a lot of work that you don't really get to see, that people may not appreciate because you just play it in the background or you see it and no, but a lot of image manipulation, and you have to take this in and you have to cut that out, and you have so as your show partner, I appreciate it. So thank you for that stuff too, because
Well,
I know it's not easy. You know, I'm a content
no, it's
creator.
not easy.
Like I get it,
And
and
as you know, time scheduling is really a big deal with being an adult content creator,
yeah,
and having to do multiple things in life. So, yeah.
yeah, yeah. I could use 3 or 4 more hours, and these 24 hours are not enough. They're just not. They're just
No.
not. Uh, Another little thing here with the channel, we're gonna be just keeping on what we've been doing. We've been having a lot of fun, which is why we do this show. We don't do this for like a million
Yeah.
hits and a bunch of BS. No, we try to give a educated conversation, not just booze and whatever. we try to be objective about things and have fun too. Like this is obviously not the Cougar Town podcast. Bill Lawrence isn't going to come out here
No.
and Marconi come. We just like lighten up at the beginning. I mean, I know if it was up to DTV, we'd be doing nothing but like biker mice from Mars all day. But
Right,
I know
right.
that's his thing, but you can't get enough of those biker
You know,
mice.
I'm gonna actually interrupt you there, because I
Yeah.
actually did on my own channel. I actually did a review of like the first episode, I think it was, of Biker Mice
Okay.
from Mars, and it actually took off a little bit. And it wasn't something I just did it for fun because the toys were coming out at the time, and I was like, "What
Yeah,
was
yeah,
this show?" I totally didn't remember it, so I was like, "Let's make it to a video," and it kind of worked out.
yeah. That we were doing like stuff like that in like our second year, but we didn't do it the first year, but the second year we like looked at the first
Yeah.
episode, Three Sharks or like other brands,
Hmm.
and we're gonna have to probably circle back around because that's it might be fun to go back and see Biker Mice and like have a conversation about episode one
Yeah.
as on the show, or maybe Mummies Alive, Extreme Dinosaurs, one of those like shows that didn't really take off but were kind of influential, and you know
Oh, I got
you know
one for
what I
you.
would like. Yeah,
What?
no, go ahead.
Oh well, here's the show, and what was it called? Teenagers, t- Beverly Hill Teenagers Tattoo Warriors, I think it was called.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah.
something like that long.
From
You
Beverly
remember the
Hills, yeah.
show, right? It's like Beverly Hills with, and they got the tattoos, and
Yeah,
it's
no,
a rip off of Ultraman. But
I've
anyways,
tried. I've seen people reference that show so much, but brother, I make this. I'm not watching that.
yeah,
I can watch a lot of
I
BS.
know,
I'm worried about other things, propane and propane accessories. Yeah, see,
right?
wearing the Bobby Hill shirt and everything. Moving on
Nice.
from that, today, well, this is kind of a sneak peek for you guys. DTV, we've had conversations about this, behind the scenes about like my toy line and some of the issues that I've had with the
Oh
original
yeah.
articulated ones. But I decided to just like scorch earth and start fresh and redesign the whole thing. So
Oh
this
nice.
yeah, this May there's gonna be a new mini series for Mascara Fighters, which is my flagship, where I actually show the process of doing like from the top, redoing the whole body, redoing everything, and now I'm actually at stage one or phase one, if you will, and I got to this. This right here is
Okay.
the chest and the torso, and look, I actually have chest articulation.
Articulation.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
And I already have the peg slots for where the head and the arms are gonna go. So, and I'm drilling into making the sockets for the legs. So this is, I mean, for a toy maker, this getting to even this point, because this isn't perfect. I know it's not perfect, but to get to this was a me like there's a peg inside here. I can't pull it out anymore because this is an exact fit. So if I pull it out, I'm just gonna break the peg for no reason. But
Yeah,
there's
that's
that.
not good.
Yeah, Mascara Grande Diaries coming in May for the Mascara Fighters channel and the socials and stuff like that. And moving on from that, another little quick piece of business. In another episode, I had because I'm in home base, if you will. So I got all my stuff here. In another episode, we were talking about how I would redesign the Megazord and things like that, the Dino Megazord, right? And I had
Yeah.
kind of shown you a couple of behind the scenes pictures or whatever. So I actually have him in hand today. I haven't finished painting him, but
Okay.
there he is. There is what I would do if I was making the Dino Megazord. So see, this is one of the advantages of the show we make. We actually we're toy make content creators because no, for real, like I'm not gonna call out any show because that's pointless. But the truth is, this is a very
Yeah.
special thing to be able to. Hey, look, there it is. We're not just like this toy sucks and whatever. We can literally stand on this with this stuff, And the last little thing I kind of wanted to run in before we start doing our unboxings and things is I'd like to share a nice moment from
Okay.
JDF, Jason David Frank, and I just want to say something nice because I think that there should be something nice said, something good in the air for JDF. We're all fans of him, and basically my little memory is I really, really, really loved when he came back to the franchise. When he came back for Dino Thunder, that
Oh
episode
yes.
one, or that episode, we're gonna have to one day, that day of the Dino or whatever. We're gonna have to swing back around for that one because that would be a fun
Yes.
to run through. But like that was awesome that he came back and he decided to be a professor, and Tommy went to school and this and that, and he set up the new world and his whole thing with Anton Mercer. And I just wanted to share that quick little thing, a nice little memory. I loved and appreciated that the guy came back. Green Ranger becomes the Dino Thunder Black Ranger in that show. So that was my spiel.
Yeah. Well, I
If you
will
got
say, in that show was really well. Like, since we're talking about that show, I think one of the cool things about JDF in that show was you get to see a mindset that a lot of people talked about. You saw the Green Ranger as his powerful, evil, good self. That sounds weird. You saw the White Ranger. You got to see Turbo. You got to see all of his different forms
yeah,
that
the
made
Zero.
him the Dino Thunder. Yeah, that made him the Dino Thunder Black, because without that little incident memory up here, wouldn't have been the JDF that was in that show. It just showed that it wasn't Tommy Oliver being somebody different, being a professor. No, it showed him as he was this, and they kept the storyline going of Tommy Oliver. It's not just, oh, we're gonna put Tommy on here because he's a popular character. No, it showed his true, overall powerful self
Yeah,
and his ability to come over his ability to become him. Sounds weird, and to step over his boundaries of life. And I thought that was a
yeah,
really cool way of doing it.
yeah. There was a cute line after he gets the Black Dino Thunder Morpher, and he's like hanging out at the juice bar or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, I gotta go. I have a real lack of black in my wardrobe," which is funny because they dressed in
Yeah.
green. That was cute. That was cute. So the now we are here with the unboxings. Here I got a second one. I got a second Leonardo Ultimates because I want to have one with the old head and one with the new head.
Okay.
I got this thing used to come with a lot of stuff, and man, nowadays Super 7 is packaged super light, and I'll get into it when we're in the news section. But I did want to just show how much stuff used to come in the box, and now it just doesn't. You just don't get that. And I like this head. So eventually, I'll
Oh
get all
yeah.
the turtles in, so I can have like two sets, the two different heads. I mean, I might be an ass and like just like model my own turtle heads and put them on new bodies.
There you
Oh
go.
yeah. Yeah, this figure is awesome. This one's particularly pretty stiff, so I'm gonna have to heat them up. But there's no real need for a big review here. You know all the pieces that go in there, but that's what he
Oh
looks like.
yeah, for sure.
Let me get this out of the way. Now this one,
Miss April
Ninja
O'Neil.
Ninja April. Yeah, this is inspired obviously by Kill Bill because every female ninja has to be a Kill Bill like character. By the way,
Oh
I did
yeah.
see that movie recently. Did you see Kill Bill?
I haven't seen it in years. No, I haven't seen it in years, but I do remember the one scene. I think it's from Kill Bill, or maybe it's Kill Bill 2, but it's the one scene where she's like in the think it's an Asian restaurant, and you have that Asian girl that looks like she's from school with the ball and chain,
Oh yeah,
and yeah,
yeah.
it
That's
looked like it was like a schoolgirl, a Japanese schoolgirl that's like a badass martial artist, you know.
yeah. That's the stuff she comes with. Not a lot comparatively, but then again, I didn't
Well, at
realize that
least she's
Kill
got
Bill.
3 heads.
Yeah. No, I'm going back to the Kill Bill thing for a second. I didn't realize how long that scene that you're talking about in the restaurant is, because that is like 45 minutes.
Yeah,
This is what comes like the small Donnie weapon and
yeah,
a sword. This does look cool in yellow.
the little katana. Yeah,
And a plastic nunchuck. I wish they would have given
nunchuck.
her
Yeah,
the metal one, the metal chain one.
yeah, that'd be cool.
It is what it is.
Yeah, but you know what's cool about that Super 7 is they don't fall out. You can hang them upside down and they won't fall out.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about loyal
You know what I'm talking
subjects.
about. Yes. I hate that about loyal subjects. You open
Yeah, yeah, that's loyal subjects. All right.
yeah.
I think they did better heads this time because the original April heads were like waxy. You see that right there with the bandana?
Yeah.
That looks very Electra-ish.
Yeah.
This is her trying to rip off my Mascara fighters by wearing a mask.
Oh, I thought she was trying to rip off Scorpion from Mortal Kombat.
Oh, yeah. What? What? It's a little camera there. Oh, I thought this was like the original toy one where you pull it out and she's got like a gun. It's just one piece.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. She's got these microphone nunchucks because why
Yeah.
not?
That's kind of funny. Why not? It's April O'Neil. Whack.
Pretty much.
must
Here,
They must be Bluetooth. That is one thing I will say about Super 7. They love their hands. They love the hands to death. So they'll give you little to no extra like step. They'll give you 100 hands for one character.
yeah,
You
because
choose your character's hands.
yeah, modeling wise is the cheapest thing you could possibly do. I mean, really, if you think about it, everything they do can be the cheapest thing you do because if you modeled something once, it's already modeled. Like
Yeah.
here, if I want to make this guy turn into the one with Dragon Zord on the shoulders, all I have to do is like add the shoulder pieces to this instead of just remodeling everything. I just have to remodel half of it.
Oh
So if
yeah.
you did the work here, you just have to, additional pieces. This head, by the way, is to the Playmates toy. Because in the Playmates toy, she was wearing like a loincloth, sort of like G.I. Jane. Not G.I. Jane, like Jane
Mm.
from Tarzan. That one. She was wearing like the
Yeah.
white spots. Because I believe she was part of like the turtles that came with like dinosaurs and all that. She was supposed to like fit into that world where like Raph had a pterodactyl, Leonardo had a T Rex, Donnie had a brontosaurus, and I think Mikey had the Triceratops.
I know what you're talking about. I just don't remember them that well.
Yeah, I remember them. I just never had them. Like I have one or maybe somewhere, you know, in the zeitgeist, but not anywhere near. You know. See, stiff, which is good because you know with Super Seven, eventually this will not last. So is she gonna at least be stiff
Yeah.
out of the box? She's got some good kicks to her too. Like, that's a regular
Oh
Ninja
yeah,
Turtle.
Super. Yeah. No, Super Seven's action figures out of the box are nice and stiff, and as long as you pose them on the bottom
Yeah,
half one way and leave it that way, you're fine for life. It's the arms and stuff you can move all the time and you'll be fine. And that's what I've noticed with my Rangers, at least, you know.
yeah. Oh yeah. Since we're looking at some Power Rangers today, I was gonna ask you, like, now that you have had the Power Rangers for a while, do they start like the Ninja Turtles, like all the joints start getting wonky, or the Power Rangers hold up?
No, they're holding up just fine. Even the positioning that I have them in, they're standing on their own,
Mm-hmm.
and they haven't fallen. I mean, I play music every once in a while in this house, really loud and bumping, and they don't even move. I'm like, okay, this is cool, you know. So yeah, they're still standing. I don't know. I don't know if it's something about the weight of the turtles because of how heavy they
Yeah,
are and shell and all that might be making a difference. I don't know.
maybe.
Maybe it's the product they were using back in the day before they made Power Rangers. Um,
Yeah,
or maybe just because I have it in a display case and the air is not getting in there as much.
yeah.
That could be too. I don't know.
I do like her. She shares a lot of pieces with Karai as far as like figure design, because it is a lot of the same, like arms, the legs, some of the torso.
Mhm. Well,
This
I
was fun.
remember the promos for that. Yeah, I remember the promos where they were like fighting each other. So, well, not really fighting, but they're in the stance, ready to go.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's cool, very cool.
good job, Super Seven. This looks fun. You know, the weird thing is they gave her a white bandana, like the original one had, but had like a whole white thing. You figure they give her a yellow
Yeah,
bandana because she's got yellow on the other heads. So why would she have white now? You know, and
because people might get it confused with Michelangelo. That's supposed to be orange, but in some video games he's yellow. I don't know. I'm messing around, honestly. It's
yeah,
probably just one of those design choices where the person's like, "Hey, let's put it white instead of yellow to make people go okay." Or confused, whatever. It's just again, whoever made the character decided to do it that way. But yeah, I
yeah.
can see the point. It could have been yellow.
This is such a crazy concept too. So like, some news reporter is gonna ask you a question, and if you don't answer, hey buddy, wake
Right.
up! You won't answer, huh? All right. Yeah. So this was fun. I got all of these in a lot, so I got the lot for a good price. So that's
Okay.
yeah. I got a good lot. I wouldn't have bought these figures individually, but like it made sense lot wise also for the shipping. So there's that.
So did you get them off of eBay or did you get them off of?
Yeah, yeah, I got them off of eBay.
Oh, someone was just trying to make some extra money because the economy's
I think that, bro, we only talk about Ninja Turtles or Power Rangers mostly here, but like, there's a lot of stuff not
Yeah.
selling. All of those statue
Oh,
figures that you see at Ross that nobody buys, they were still made by Bandai. That's still money.
yeah.
It's selling. Not every classified GI Joe figure sells. Like sometimes things just don't work out that way. Next, you tell me which one you want to go with, Goldar or the Putty?
I think, well, that's hard for me because I think they're both really good figures. You should probably do Goldar first because I think you'll be really impressed with him, especially with all the accessories that he comes with. As long as they didn't jip you out of the accessories, all the
Yeah,
accessories are there. You'll be very impressed.
yeah. This will be quick. So I got another raft. Yeah. Oh man, that scared the shit. That scared me for a minute. I was like, please don't break.
Yeah, you got to be careful with those Super Seven heads, man. You're gonna break that peg and you'll be all crying.
No, this is a one. This is a one-time change. That's why I got this
Yeah,
idea.
I know, I know. But remember, you're supposed to heat them up with a hairdryer first.
Yeah,
I think that is the most stupidest thing ever because if you have a character that's supposed to be able to change hands and head and all that, it shouldn't have to be heated up. Now, if you live in Alaska, maybe I can understand it. Or in Chicago during the winter time, okay. But
yeah. There's Raffy Boy, and all of the standard stuff there. All right, so let's clear the board here because Goldar does come with a ton of stuff.
yes.
And what was I gonna? Okay, so this is what I was gonna get for Goldar. This is why I got him anyways because I want to match him with my Legacy Red Ranger. So I like this
Okay.
sculpt than the Super Seven ones, and I have them. Why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
Well, it comes in this big shipper.
I actually got rid of that thing. That shipper I didn't keep. I didn't know at the time they were gonna get rid of them, but I was like, it's just a shipper box. Big deal.
There it
Now
is.
that box I kept. That one I kept.
Yeah, I got this at a good deal too. I ended up paying $22 for Gold. 22 with tax.
There you go. Nice.
It was a lot. It was too good to pass up.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So this is Goldar right there. You want to read that? Goldar is the general in Rita Repulsa's endless putty army and the most powerful of the evil space aliens. He led the attack on Earth after Rita's 10,000 year imprisonment, where he provided his mighty powers against the Power Rangers. Goldar shows no mercy when it comes to battling the Rangers, even proving too much for the mighty Dino Megazord. I like that they went and said it right. Dino Megazord at times.
Yeah.
Goldar sports battle armor, giant wings, and wields a giant sword capable of bringing any opponent to their knees. He's faithful to Rita and Zed. There you go.
Yep.
You know, I'll say this from like a presentation thing. I like this idea because you know, with the with the ranges, it's a circle for the power coin, and here it's like
Yeah.
sort of a triangle, not a triangle, like a box leading
A
to the side.
diamond.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a diamond. But if I were them, I would have just kept everybody at a circle. You know, I mean, why not?
Yeah.
That's kind of the aesthetic, but that's this. So let's free this guy. There he is.
Yeah.
The big boy.
Oh, he's a very big boy. Now, here's the thing about the Super 7 Power Ranger line. That is not 7 inches.
This has to be like
But
8 or something.
it's 8. Yes, it's an 8-inch figure. The Zords and the aliens are, well, not all the aliens, but the Zords and the aliens are supposed to be 8. So yeah, it's different. And I'm sorry, but I think that Goldar beats out all the other Goldars that were on the market at the time. I'm gonna say at the time.
So let's look at it. So I think this was like somebody bought it, looked at it, and then put it right back in the box because some of the tape is still original, but the box was open.
Yeah. Well, it could have been it could have been also a review. Like somebody like got it for a review and used it for the review and was like, I'll sell it.
Well, look, the tape's new. Like I have to cut the tape. It doesn't even have any fingerprints in it. Okay, I know what this is. This is why they probably returned it.
Why? Is it broken?
Yeah, it's got a broken wing. That's why.
Yeah. That sucks. That sucks. Oh well. So you'll have season 1 Gordar. Well, maybe not.
No, this is
Because
season
if
two and
the
above. Yeah.
no, it's season 1 and season 2 mix. Seriously, because with the rings, it's season 2 when Zed gives him back the rings. In season 1, he has the pegs. Yeah.
You know, I don't even see
Yeah.
the little broken peg thing. So, oh, these are the hands
Okay.
now.
Yeah.
I was looking for maybe, what was he? But this was the curse of this figure. Like 70% of the people that bought this figure had this like broken wing issue. That's why when you were talking about it, about a year ago, I was asking you, hey, was the wing broken? Because this happens a lot with this figure. So,
Yeah.
it,
Well, again, mine, I got lucky, I guess, because I display with the wings on, but I've taken them off and on several times, like during the reviews, because when you record and you mess up, you gotta go, oh, I gotta redo this, so pop it back out, pop it back in, and again, a lot of people don't understand that. I don't want to say technology, but I guess that's the only way I understand how to say it, is technology. When you do something, you don't actually just push it in, or you just don't pull it out. Sometimes you have to actually like wriggle it, and then they break it. What do you think
yeah,
of that sword?
I think yeah, it's awesome. I gotta think this is like a factory reject. Then maybe somebody would just return, saw the broken wing, and sent it right back to Super Seven, and the Super Seven liquidized it or something. But because I'm not gonna just
That is a possibility.
maybe that's what happened with this one specifically. But it did happen a lot with this figure. So it's a
Oh yeah, I saw
it's a
it.
very nice story. These are all the same. This is the disc that they used to make like the mutant putty rangers thing.
Yeah,
Rita, it's the Goldar. They're all the same. See what I mean about like reusing plastic? You only had to do
yeah.
this. You didn't have to like redo this 5 times. There's that, all 5 of them there. I like this box right here. This is a beautiful design. All of the paint, like look at all that paint right there.
Oh yeah, it's a wonderful box, and he can actually hold it in his hand. He can literally just hold it like he does in the
Oh,
TV
yeah.
show,
It's got
and it
it's
closes.
got a hinge.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know it had the hinge. I thought it was just this is what it looks like. Like most.
So you can literally do one of these. If you
Yeah,
were
this
doing
is
a
what
stop motion or something, you can actually get him.
Yeah, Tommy's losing his
Yeah.
powers, but he still goes to rescue the coins from Goldar. Right?
Hmm.
No Ranger.
Yeah.
That's a pretty sweet alternate head right there.
I will tell you right now that head is one of the hardest heads to put on Goldar because of the how the hair or the braids are. It becomes a
Yeah.
pain. And so like that's the head that I have on mine because I just think it looks better.
Hmm.
It makes him look kind of angry, a little like feisty. But it was a pain because it's not the same as like putting a ranger head on or some of the other ones that you have. Just all that extra stuff right there.
His feet remind me of the vinyl one, the original. Remember the vinyl one had these like big feet.
Hmm.
He's had a flash. It was Goldar. So let's see.
Oh, look in the back. Look at the back where the pegs go in.
Oh man, look, this peg is broken too. So whoever tried to flip these, or maybe it was broken inside. There's a peg of this, and there's a peg of this. So like, I can't display them with either sets.
And that sucks because that's Goldar.
Both,
One has,
both are.
like I said, in
I,
season one is the peg. Season two, Lord Zed gives him back the wings.
I
So
wouldn't mind
that
having
really
these.
sucks.
I can't have either one now. The curse of this figure, and both of them are like deep in there. I can't just like pop them out. If I
No. So that means someone didn't know what they were doing or they put him in thinking they knew what they were doing and broke it as he was putting them in. Because I will say, if you just try to put the rings on by holding the ring in place and pushing it, it isn't gonna work. You actually have to get really, right by the peg and push it. Because those rings actually move. They actually move in place. So
yeah,
it's a possibility that they just didn't know what they were doing. And they're like, oh, I broke it. Let's put the nubs on. And yeah.
you know what? This nice. There's a translucent like arc to this.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until now that the light hit it. You can see that it comes
Yeah.
through. That's nice.
You might be able to take some needle nose pliers to that and get the pegs out.
Uh, well, both wings are sets are messed up, so it's like
Yeah.
only thing I can
Well, I mean, you can.
possibly do is drill one in and like keep it on there permanently and pop in the other one. But if the other one breaks too, both
Yeah.
wings are shot. It sucks. I didn't have this problem with the King Sphinx. Remember, the King Sphinx has big ass wings too. Like King Sphinx wings, they like
Yeah.
goes down to his leg. You didn't have that big,
Mm-hmm.
but they snapped.
No.
Damn.
Like I said, I just don't think somebody knows what they were doing when they were putting them in. It's mostly happens when you put them in, I hear. So I guess I don't know. I guess I was lucky because I kind of learned ahead of time before I got my Goldar on how to actually do it correctly. I know that sounds weird, but honestly, I think people just go, "Oh, I got a character. I'm gonna put it in. If it breaks, oh well, we'll just send it back." And that's not the concept of this. The concept is having something that will look good on display. In multiple different ways. I had one problem with my Super 7, but it was a factory issue, wasn't my issue. And we've talked about this before. It was the Pink Ranger. I got it out of the box and the arm popped off. I
Mhm.
put the arm back in and it would rotate itself and pop out. So there was something wrong with the connection. It wasn't the ball. The ball joint didn't break. It was just something about the actual connection wasn't there, so you couldn't do anything. So I sent it back, and I got a brand new one that was 100% okay.
This is some beautiful, beautiful sculpting. Like whoever modeled this
Oh
figure,
yeah,
they must have gone blind staring at Maya and Blender. Like I'm doing it, and I know the pains of this. So like I could tell you, oh, the head comes off super easy.
I will say this. I do remember watching the interview about the Super Seven Power Rangers, how they actually took yeah, how they actually took hours and hours and of watching the Sentai footage
Mm-hmm.
of the Rangers and the Goldars and all the enemies that they were making at the time, and taking still shots through the TV show because that's the only way they could have it. They couldn't really do anything. Go to Japan and get like photos of them. They just had to literally take the TV show and like frame by frame by frame, and they came out beautifully in my opinion. I've
Yeah,
actually had people come into my house and be like, "What did you buy those? Those look like they just jumped off the TV." I'm like, I was like, "That's the plan, That's what I wanted. It was something that looked like the TV show, not something that looked like a toy."
yeah, he's a big boy.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
yeah, it sucks that his both sets of wings are broken though. I mean, what are you gonna do?
but at least you didn't pay $55 for it.
No, like I said, this was all one lot, one thing. So the April is perfect. The two
Yeah.
turtles that we used, they're perfect. They're fine. Just a freaking Goldar, he just got the wings issues. Standing next to my boy here. Oh, did you? We haven't gotten into the news yet, but since I have the figure in my hand, I figure we talk about it for a second. Bandai is making like 7-inch figures now again. Have you seen this? They're doing
I
the newest, and they're doing the New Ranger here too.
Oh, the Red Rain. I saw the Red Ranger, and I'm kind of disappointed with it because it's based off of the new TV show.
Oh,
Because
he's
the
got
new
the
TV show
belt.
they transform. Well, the belt doesn't bother me because I know what it's based off of. It's the boots. The boots are missing the
Oh, I didn't.
triangles. It's
Yeah,
just a
I only
it's just
saw.
a white boot.
Yeah, he has like the belt and like a gold claw thing and a new cockpit
Hmm.
mode inside the. Yeah, I think this looks good
Yeah.
for what it is. Like,
Well, Goldar's supposed to be towering over the Rangers anyway, so
yeah, like that looks fine. That looks good right there.
yeah.
Like he's choking him out or something. But damn, bro, for all this work and they didn't. They messed up with the wing pegs.
Well,
You
remember
know what?
that's wave one, so it's probably something they really didn't understand how to do it because it's wave one. They should have. They pretty much made those pegs the same pegs that they used for the arms, and that was partially the issue. They should have made them bigger.
Yeah. Looking at them, I wonder they must have like not known how to plug these in because whoever factory reject or whatever because this is a lot smaller than this. Uh, Hold on, let me. Yeah, the wing is pretty big, so you can kind of like see how you could have like threshold issues or whatever because you have to like
Mm-hmm.
dampen it. But this is much. Look at these are much smaller piece. These are much smaller than this. I don't know why you do that.
Yeah. Like I said, I just think someone didn't know what they were doing, or they were just trying to. Okay, so good example here. The Goldar. I remember this very well. you try to put the peg in, and it felt like it wasn't going to go in, so you would push it a little bit, and that's where I learned to push and kind of twist it in. So you're not really like pushing in, but you're not really giving it too much pressure either. So if you kind of like rotate the peg in there and kind of put a little bit of pressure on it, it will just slide right in. Same thing when you're taking it out. But if you just jam it in, you have a possibility of actually damaging the wing itself and breaking it off.
Sad times. Oh, I didn't get to do this. Whatever. And that is Goldar. If the pegs were better, he'd be like 10 out of 10, no notes. Because he's got so much like range of motion.
Hmm.
His movability is better than the Lightning Collection one, and I have the Lightning Collection one, and it's not terrible. But this like, it's just like on another level. The gold that they used, this one doesn't even have like knee articulation, but it doesn't need it because look, it's a pretty good knee bend right there. I don't need like
Oh yeah.
that's fine. Damn
No,
it,
this set doesn't really need double elbows, double knees, articulation for what they are. Again, I
yeah,
think people that concept for like the just for everything. I think not everything needs that. Some things sure, but not everything.
yeah. I like how much detail they put into these hands, though. Look, you can see every like thing there, and the red, the metal,
Hmm.
light. And the last thing we will open for today, because we're at 46 minutes
So
already.
before you do that though, before you do that, I do got something to share. That's uh, it's still part of CRT, but it's a little bit different. This is actually a book that I published not too long ago. It's all about video game emulation, and yes, it's an actual book. It's a thin book, but it's for beginners basically. And I
Okay.
actually put like actual pictures in it and stuff,
Hey,
and
congrats.
explaining what is. It took me about 15 days to do just this little book, and I never written a book before, but it was all knowledge I've had for over 15 years, and try to make it where anybody could read it and understand it and didn't sound like a geek, you know, and just made
Mhm.
life easy. But it was actually a challenge because when you write a book or create something like you do, you write stories, you might have this idea, but then you gotta sometimes dumb it down because if you go too far into detail, it might sound boring. People might get bored with it or they might not understand it.
Mhm.
And so that's what I had to do here. And that's what it took me so long just to do this because I just wanted someone to pick it up and go, oh, I know what he's talking about. I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
But if I was gonna do it, if I was gonna write one for advanced users, it'd probably be about that big. With all
How
the
many
knowledge I have, but this one's only 36. But again, it's just for beginners, pretty much. I mean, it's even has a contents, everything that's in the book. But it's 36 pages, and
and what does it
it's
cover?
again,
Or just like a basic outline of what an arcade setup is, or what do you cover in the book?
it's not just it's emulation. So like how to build an emulation for computers or for arcades. This actual picture I actually made years ago.
Hmm.
This one I actually did that on I forget what program, but I made this picture a long time ago and I never used it, and I found it on my computer. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I was like, that'd be perfect for this book, and so I did that. It was a fun little project, and if I've already promoted it on my YouTube channel, kind of like what you do with Masculine Fighters, and see what happens if people start buying it and commenting on it and wanting something uh more knowledgeable about maybe a subject or something. I might take time and actually write more of an advanced setting book. But this is just something to get you started. And there's a subject in there that's if you go to like YouTube and you watch some of these people build these emulation boxes and stuff, one of the comments that you get, and I had to do it on YouTube too because I realized I could get in trouble on YouTube. They go, I cannot tell you how to find the games, but we could say Google is your friend. But when you're writing a book, that goes out the window because you pick up a book and you can tell them where to go get this stuff, how to get it,
Mhm.
because you're not going to get in trouble that way. Even if, let's say, Nintendo picks up the book just to see, they can go to that website and be like, oh, well, it's the website's fault, not the book's fault. He's just using the reference that he knows how to do. So, yeah. I just wanted to share that with you because it's my very first book, and I thought it'd be cool just to share.
Yeah, yeah. In this show, we're only supposed to talk about my stuff.
Oh, well, damn. Well, guess what? We're gonna change the rules up from now on. I'm gonna share everything that I do.
Hey, we're
You know
gonna
what? I'm
expect
gonna steal. I'm
3
gonna
hours
steal your fire.
on this
That's what I'm
call.
gonna do.
Yeah. Hey, you want to do it? It's your show as much as it is mine.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
then
I
I'm
know,
like,
and we like to play around like this. I mean, that's the thing. It's all
we're
like
going to
we say,
three
it's all for
hours.
fun.
Yeah. Could be something. I think our longest show was like right at like 3:05, which was like our season finale from last year, which was like basically 2 episodes put together because there was a lot of content.
Yeah.
Look at this putty here I got for like $17 or so with a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I need to get another one of those.
We'll see. See what he looks like.
I mean, you could literally have. I think there's a total of like 5 different putties you can make with that one. So
Yeah,
it's kind of neat.
it's a shame you gotta throw this away.
You don't need to throw it away. What are you talking about?
Because there's
You can
this
cut them out and
little
hang
thing
them on your
called
wall. No. You cut them out and hang them on your wall.
that. Yes, it comes with like a
There
hat
you
and
go.
thing, a gang of stuff. There.
Like I say, I think you can make like 5 different putties out of that thing.
I might get a sec. I don't know if I'll ever get another one at like this type of a deal, but maybe
Well,
have
if I
one
could find
ready.
one, even if I could just find one with just the putty itself, I wouldn't care because I have all the accessories with it already. I mean, that's the thing. I don't need a whole another set. I could just use, someone that's just selling the Super 7 putty alone.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You just brought up one of the things we're going to talk about in the news, but national transition there. So the deluxe line, they're just gonna do the Thundercats. What you thinking? Because they just dropped the wave two of the deluxe ones that are like $35 ones at Target, and I was excited
Yeah.
for it. We covered it, but like when I was on the road for the first time, when I was in September, we're in May now, basically, and nothing on Ninja Turtles. Or they should have released these if this line had been successful. You heard
Well, see
anything?
that line was very hot at one point, but when they took away Madame Woe and the White Tiger Zord, that's when everything fell downhill because people were getting mad that, oh, they said this, but this never happened in their eyes, and I totally agree with them. I think it was more of a cost factor with Madame Woe overall because of the build of it. It was a different type of character.
Yeah, I looks standard. This is the body for the Rangers, though, right? The exact same body as the Rangers,
Pretty much, yeah.
with
I like the
uh,
belt buckle on it. I mean, yeah, it's highly detailed. The belt buckle on that one,
yeah, looks all right.
to the
Yeah,
point where I didn't even notice that it had. I didn't know the putties had that high detailed belt buckle. I had to actually go look at a picture. I was like, "Holy crap, it's actually there."
this is nice. The texture that they put onto the wrist, that is
Hmm.
nice work. I mean, considering as plain as this figure is, like they see, this is where they cheaped out. They could have at least put something here, like it's just all the back of it is gray, but
Yeah,
It is kind of the aesthetic too.
But
It's
you're
like
gonna, yeah. But you're gonna display them looking behind. Yeah, I mean, I guess you can argue that,
yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much the Power Ranger look.
I got like him, or whatever, pose next to him. So, Booyah! Jeez, this guy. The reboot can't come soon enough.
Right?
Yeah. Uh, so he's snug, which is good. That's what he looks like.
Oh yeah.
There hasn't been any announcements for Super 7 Rangers anymore, right? That's pretty much done.
No, they pretty much. The last thing was the glow in the dark Megazord that I showed off. Other than that, there's been nothing. It's been very disappointing because I
Oh,
was hoping
for
for
Ultimates,
more
there's
stuff.
nothing. That's right.
No,
That
nothing.
Lord Dragon has been taking his vitamins. That's basically it.
That was
'Cause
basically it so far.
yeah.
I'm just afraid they're gonna come out with like Zeo or Turbo or something off the wall, and it's gonna be like you still need to finish a
There's,
line.
there's no way Super 7 does this video. I'm sorry, but there's not now anyway. No.
No. I mean, they still had so much more stuff they could have done with just the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger line, and like, I don't know, they just really messed up on it. I mean, I would have loved to see a Pudgy Pig, a Super 7 Pudgy Pig. Yeah.
I think Hasbro nailed the Pudgy Pig, honestly. Like, I have the Pudgy Pig of Hasbro, and like, I don't need any more. Like, if Super 7 were to do Pudgy Pig, they're gonna have less articulation. So it might look actually a
And
little
about that
better.
big.
It might actually look a little bit better
Um,
because these old costumes, they don't need a lot of articulation.
no.
It comes with a lot of stuff. And look, I'm still popping the pieces of that. So
Now
how
that's
much?
old
Uh,
fashioned Super 7.
uh,
What was that?
no, I was gonna ask. So you have everything of the Ultimates for the Rangers, or just like a few, or where's your collection at?
My collection is basically I need Bulk and Skull. Because like I told everybody when I was doing my videos for the Super 7, I don't collect the basically the alternates, like the Golden Black Megazord, Golden Black Dragon Zord on the ultimate side. I'm not gonna do that. The glow in the dark Tommy without the shield and stuff, I can care less about. Yes, it's canon. It is canon to the TV show theoretically, but they were charging a lot more than $55 for it. And I just like, oh no, 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 no. If I find it on discount, maybe I'll pick it up because it is canon. But basically, it's just Bulk and Skull I'm missing. That is it when it comes to the main line. So I don't know. Because I did get the metallic White Ranger, because that's canon 100% the way they did it. Everything besides the Saber sword isn't colored, but I could always send it off for someone to color it, or I could find a secondary Saber sword and buy that. It's just the same sculpt and everything, just a different paint job. So
Did you pop off
yeah.
the shoulders, or you don't recommend maybe popping off the shoulders to put on the Z vest?
Oh no, 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 no! You want to pop them off. You want to take those arms off. It will make life easy.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
it's
was
it's the same way
uh,
as the Green Ranger's shield.
uh, this could be an easy, like not cash grab, but like an easy release. If they release the Z putties or something. in the
Yeah, I mean, they
deluxe.
could have done that with the deluxe. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. In the deluxe, they could have just released it as a Z putty. And again, I would have picked that up instead of another Ultimate because why? It's $35 and you're getting what you're getting. I mean, they could have added just a extra hand. What they
You know,
one like rock hand and one's like the sword hand. And call it a day. I
yeah,
mean, no, I'm talking about for deluxe, not the
yeah,
ultimate,
yeah,
but for the deluxe. Just give them the two different weapon hands and call it a day.
yeah. This, I don't think I could take that off because I already see the straightening of the.
No, no, you don't got to take it off for the Z kneecaps. Oh, you got to just slide them over it. They stretch.
Yeah, because they don't want to come out. They look like they're gonna break, and I don't want to break.
Yeah, you don't want to. You don't want to do that. No,
I
but
already
see,
got
that's what I wanted. I wanted to buy it. I wanted to buy another putty to make it a Z putty because in my case it's just a standard putty. I mean, yeah, I could take it out, change it for the holidays. Like if it's Halloween, I could put the pumpkin head on it and the circus thing to make it the pumpkin putty. But those are gimmicks, or put the jersey on to make it the football putty for that one episode, and the cowboy for the western episode that they had the how does she say it, the white stranger.
yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa. Hey now.
Hey, that's what Tanya said.
Hey,
Or was that Aisha?
no hablo inglés.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna comment on
Really?
that. Oh, I know a bad thing when I see it.
Hey, back in the 90s, they didn't care. It was just whatever.
Yeah, good old 90s. Also, uh, yesterday, were you crying at the end of the Roseanne the spinoff? The Connors finally ended.
Uh,
Were you
oh, no,
crying?
I didn't even know. I didn't even know about it ending. I thought it
Yeah,
ended a long time ago
you-
for some reason.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I did see a clip of that on YouTube, and they kill off Roseanne, and then they give like the whole episode of the series finale is like Peggy Bundy standing next to like the cast or whatever because they had her become the new love interest for John Goodman, and
Okay.
and then they open up the check for the death of Roseanne, and they only gave her like $700 for her death. Really, really?
Wow. Yeah.
that's that's like Chuck Lorre vengeance, like what he did with Charlie. Like what?
Yeah.
Like, you're talking about this lady for 7 years after after she left the show for whatever reason, for reasons. Let's leave it there. But like, you still mention the character like in every other episode, and then like your big payoff is like they get $700 as the for the opioid thing, the storyline in the show.
Yeah.
Bro, I don't know. That show was something else.
I like
Oh,
the old show. I didn't get the
the
new show
original
that
Roseanne.
much of a chance. Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't give the new show much of a chance because I didn't have time to watch it. So,
I saw it
yep.
because I had a what do you call it? I had the ABC Family All Access before they merged
Okay.
the Hulu and Disney Plus. Before they, but when it was called something else, when they did the first
Mhm.
season of the reboot, and it was okay. I mean, it was never gonna be what it was originally because like I mean, you'd have to bring back Chuck Lorre, and because that's one of the things that makes me like such a fan of Chuck Lorre. Chuck Lorre has dealt with like some personalities, bro. He dealt with Brett Butler with Grace Under Fire. He dealt with Roseanne because
Mhm.
that was where he got his big break. He dealt with Charlie Sheen for like 8 years. Like this guy knows how to deal with people, bro. Like for good or for bad.
Yeah.
He's
Okay,
dealt
so
with some.
maybe you can answer me this. Maybe you can answer me this. Did they bring back David on the show?
No, oh the Big
Really?
Bang Theory, David. Him. That's who you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Yeah, I get
Yeah.
he's a deadbeat dad in the revival. Like he pops in every once in
Well,
a
that
while. Like
makes that makes
Yeah,
sense. Leather jacket dude from Roseanne becomes geeky. on the Big Bang Theory. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, I can
half
see
emo.
that.
Yeah, it was like half emo, half punk
Yeah.
because it wasn't as defined as it is now. Like now, there's like 20 versions of what that is, just because the
Yeah,
subculture,
exactly.
subculture, the subculture. But yeah, yeah, back then you could just like wear a denim jacket and you could. Well, he's wearing a denim jacket, but now things are. It's a different time. It's a different time.
It is a
Yeah.
different time.
So this is
So
the.
overall, what do you think of this party patroller?
You know what? Let me stand him next to the guy he's supposed to fight, at least in my canon, because Bandai never made any until now. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they swing back around, and you never know.
You never know.
Like you get it. That is one disadvantage of this. Like the legacy line, they get like wonky. Their joints get real wonky real fast. There's not a huge difference in height, but the putty's a little bit bigger than the Ranger, but that's neither here or there. That's not gonna like you know break anything.
Yeah.
But
But again, the party patrollers themselves are all different sizes. They all had different people in the costumes. So in reality, when you bend them over and make them do that little weird putty walk, it wouldn't really matter. So yeah, the height difference is not a big deal.
yeah, let me try to put him in
You know what
the
I'm talking about? Yeah,
yeah when he's in
yeah,
this part.
something like that.
Yeah, there you, yeah, I guess it kind of looks fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is that. And we will be back with some news after this break.
Welcome back. Now we're gonna be doing some news and having more fun on CRT. Let's get into this.
Obviously, the main thing is we're gonna talk about the two Beckys on Roseanne. Which Becky was your favorite, by the way?
Oh wow, there we go. Now I gotta go watch the show again. It's been years. Come on now.
Becky one or Becky? Yeah, they were kind of funny.
I'm gonna say Becky. Yeah,
Which one you were gonna say?
I don't actually remember but I'm just gonna pretend I remember and say Becky too.
Becky two was Sarah Chalk. She was the girl on Scrubs. That's Becky
Yeah,
two. Becky one was like I think it was like the first 5 seasons, and then she like left, and they switched her out, and then they brought back Becky one for a couple of seasons, and bro, bro, those Becky girls, ooh, funny. But but that's neither here nor there. We all know you were more of a Jackie guy, right? Like, that was that was
Jackie.
more your
My
path, more your speed. Laurie Metcalf.
oh, my speed is something totally different. That's okay.
she's a she's one of the funny. By the way, she's one of the funny. Laurie Metcalf is one of the funniest like comedic actresses around.
Yeah.
She she did another show after Roseanne. Did you ever see the Norm Macdonald show? He had a sitcom called Norm. It was
Oh, Norm. Yes. Okay.
yeah. They changed the name of the show a few times. It was called the Norm Show, the Norm Macdonald Show, the Norm, and then after a while, it just said Norm. Yeah, but is that show, bro? She was funny in that show. Like you gotta be really, really talented to like do like 9 seasons opposite of Roseanne, and then like go ahead and
Yeah.
start another show with against Norm Macdonald. Norm Macdonald's hilarious too, but like you need somebody for him to play off of. So Laurie Metcalf,
Yeah. Definitely.
We should do a tribute episode to Laurie Metcalf. That'd be something.
Yeah.
You Another little funny thing about Laurie Metcalf. You know she is in The Big Bang Theory, right? She's Sheldon's mom.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
it's all revolving around Roseanne and Laurie Metcalf. We're giving everybody what they want to hear today.
Yep.
uh, Next, we're gonna talk about Brett Butler and why that show ended. So abrupt. No, we're not. That would get us flagged hard. But I do
Yeah.
have one last thing, and then yeah, we'll jump into this with the Brett Butler thing. This is the Chuck Lorre thing that I found this. So I have the DVDs of Two and a Half Men, right?
Hmm.
And in one of them, Chuck Lorre was like director or writer of an episode of CSI. You've seen that show CSI, right? Like procedural
Oh yeah.
drama.
Well, which one? Which CSI? Because I've
Re-
seen a
re-
lot of them.
Regular CSI, the regular,
Oh, the
not
first
James
one.
Blue.
Okay, the first one. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Not
regular one.
CSI Miami or the other ones.
No,
No. Okay,
just
just the original.
the original regular
Okay. Yeah,
CSI.
I've seen it.
No, the funny thing is, I'm not going to talk about the incident, but there was an incident on Grace Under Fire, which is why they fired. They had to replace the original kid, and then they brought in the much older kid, but they did a time jump there.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
so what Chuck Lorre does is he directs an episode of CSI, but he writes everything that happened with Brett Butler into this episode as he like backdoor pilots this whole thing. Like it's so like you talk about vengeance. Oh man, this guy went to another TV show to get his comeuppance. But you don't want to. That's another thing. Like I'm a Chuck Lorre guy. I like his shows, and he, he waited a while too because Grace Under Fire ended, and like I think like 11 years later he got to do that CSI episode to kind of like stick it to Brett,
Yeah.
but he still got it. He still got the whole thing. You see that episode, you're like, whoa, that's you definitely that you definitely got her. But let's get into some news because this is not the Brett Butler show. This is the Ranger talk. You know.
Exactly.
First news item is the Black and Gold Megazord is now canon in the Super
Oh
Sentai.
yes. Oh yes.
Super Sentai, so
Hmm.
it now exists. Yeah, I think they're having like a 2 or 3 part episode with it, right? They're using it for multiple episodes in the current in the
Yeah. They're
2025.
gonna use the. Yeah, they're gonna use the Megazord a lot in this show. Okay, so this is funny. I just did a little video because of the Power Morpher just came out for the toy. It will be coming out from Bandai, the Memorial Power
Oh,
Morpher. But
yeah,
they also have the black. They also have the black Dino Megazord also, and I hate the new design they have for the toys. The Dino Megazord in standard colors and in the black and gold. But what's going on is the reason they look like that is because they combined with the other Megazords from the TV show. So sooner or later in the TV show, they're going to be combining. And
mhm,
okay, I get it. And actually, this is not the first time Bandai's done this. Bandai's actually had other Megazords in Japan that combined with other Megazords. The Dino Megazord itself, but I don't think we ever got it over here. It was just a Japanese exclusive.
yeah.
But now Bandai's decided to do it again for this new TV show. I don't think it's actually happened in the show yet, but I don't like I like the top half of the Megazord. The legs I don't like, and when it comes apart, it just looks horrible. It looks like
What
it
the
just looks
black
horrible.
the
Keep
the
it
Jujin, I think they call it the black and
just
gold man.
both of them. Yeah, just both of them. They both look horrible when they're taken apart because of the same. Well, as we say, the same buck as each of them. You know, they're just painted differently. But together, the top halves look good. The bottom legs are really chunky, and sometimes
I
I just
haven't
wish they would leave things
haven't seen it.
alone.
I
Oh
saw
wow, go
the
look it up on.
yeah.
It's on Big Bad Toy Store. Just go to Big Bad Toy Store, put in Super Sentai, make Gold and Black Megazord. It'll pop right up, and it's cheap. It's like $87 before other things happen. It might go up in price later. Who knows? But
Oh yeah,
to me,
I
it's
got
just a
those
horrible
letters,
design. Yeah.
black
So
and
to me,
gold.
it's a
Yeah, let me
horrible
check out.
design. I don't like it. I don't. It's not even just the black and gold. It's just the design for the Dino Megazord for this new TV show. But in the TV show, it looks like the old Dino Megazord because that's what it is. But the toys are different, and it's just like, uh, if they just left the toy alone and found a way around it to connect to the other Megazords, I would have probably bought it for $87. It would be cheaper than Playmates, but I don't like the design of it.
Yeah.
But yes, it is
So
canon now, and I think it's amazing. I saw the little clip of the show where he uses the Mastodon shield. So you never see that in the Power Ranger show. I don't think they ever used the Mastodon as an actual shield. Um, I don't think I have to go back and watch it now, but to actually see the power of the Mastodon shield itself being used was awesome. So yes, I know it's canon, and I think that's cool.
the in the Sentai, I saw one of the fight sequences where he's fighting the Sentai Megazord of this season, that gold
Mhm.
one with the red head.
Yeah,
He
but one
the
of the cool
Megazord
things,
looks better than the gold Sentai Megazord. But that's
yeah.
just me.
Oh, one of the cool things about the Sentai show, at least in the translation, let's put it that way. I don't know how good the translation really is, but they talk about when you first see the Dino Megazord, the standard colored one. They said that one was destroyed years ago from a battle. How's it back? So again, but if you think about the actual Zhu Ranger show, it could have never been destroyed because they were a spirit. They were spirits. It wasn't an actual physical thing. It was a guardian spirit. But
Oh,
anyways, I digress. It's a
no,
TV
no,
show. They can do whatever they want.
that's a good story. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because this is the thread that I have for it. Okay, the Dino Megazord came back in the Sentai equivalent of that Beast Morphers episode that they like forced together by bringing back Austin St. John and like putting all of that footage, and they turned it into two episodes
Mhm.
of yeah Beast Morphers. It, but that
Yeah.
fight scene was super fast, so maybe in the Sentai that's where the Dino Megazord dies over there, and maybe that's the last reference I know of the Dino Megazord over there in Japan. I don't know if it meant that he died over there in battle or something. We just didn't see that footage here.
Eh,
That was a
well,
rough
I
fight.
haven't seen.
That
Yeah,
Beast Morphers.
I haven't seen that footage at all. But what they're talking about is like some kind of great battle with all the different Zords, and certain Zords went down in the battle, and it was like okay. Some of the not
Yeah,
Zords, but Mega Zords itself went down in the battle, protecting the some kind of power. I don't remember the whole situation, but that's what's
yeah,
based this whole TV show on is that one of the people get transported into this little world and you see all these different Zords that have been destroyed and they got these like gems and or crystals and they can change into different Power Ranger suits and different Zords, but the cockpits are like one person instead of having like five people control these Megazords. It's one person controlling them. It's pretty cool. So it becomes a mech more than a Megazord. Let's put it that way.
oh, so
Um,
it's more
yeah,
like
but
Gundam and not Power Rangers? Because Gundams are usually like standalones, like they're one person
yeah,
drives your Gundam.
these ones, what I've seen on the TV show, yeah, these ones are
They're like Pacific
standalone.
Rim.
I mean, yeah, a certain ranger can change into a certain ranger to control a certain Zord, and uh, yeah, it's neat. It's different again, but it's I think it's a great concept. I love the show, what I've seen of it, but I haven't really seen much of it because it's hard to find online. But you don't have any subscription to a certain, just a subscription or a VPN to go look at it. But I've seen a few of the episodes, and I enjoy it. So when it comes out on Shot Factory or shot, how you say it, I'm tired. Anyways, I'll probably see it then.
Yeah, Shout Streamer. That one, the streamer.
Yeah,
Because think they're on streaming now.
Yeah, yeah, and it's free. You can watch every Sentai show there. So yeah,
Excuse me.
but the new one because they don't own the new one yet because it's too new. But anyways,
Oh, that's the next point I was gonna the next news item. So Toku, Tokusatsu, the Toei has come out and
yeah.
done a couple of news, and they're talking about expanding the reach of Super Sentai into America, to the North America.
Hmm.
I don't know if you've heard about this, but they want to like
I
develop more
have heard
content.
about this.
So there's a chance that we could start actually getting English dubs to these Super Sentai seasons, which I would love. Because if you're watching a show, you
I
should
would.
watch a show, not read a show. In my opinion, I want to read a
No,
book and
you're
read a book.
absolutely right. I do sit down and read these shows. I hate to say it that way because you're absolutely right. I'm reading the show, and half the time I'm missing what's actually on the screen because I'm going, okay, and then I have to go, wait, what just happened? Because I was too focused on the words and actually seeing the show.
Yeah,
Um, like Die Ranger, half the show I didn't even see because I was just reading the words. I can tell you the whole plot of Die Ranger with the White Ranger and all that, but
yeah,
it's all reading. It's not. I didn't see half the stuff. It's like okay, but yeah, I
yeah.
have heard about it coming over here and having. It'd be nice to have translations or at least Super Sentai blah 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 just made for America, so it's all a whole different series. So you would have
Just
the Japanese series going on and an American series going on. And then in between all that, you would also have a reboot series of Power Rangers. You would have the option of we can watch the old fashioned Sentai style, or we can watch the newer day Power Rangers. And
yeah.
yeah, it'd be interesting.
Well, I think Toei's in an interesting position right now because from everything we've been hearing, Power Rangers has been cut off. So like, there's no more adaptations. Whatever we did with Cosmic Fury, yeah, we're pretty much done with Toei. But Toei's
Yeah.
gonna still keep going. Super Sentai's still happening over there. It's been happening for the past
Oh,
like
for
50, yeah.
50 years in total. 50 years in
Yeah.
total. That's what
So
makes it
it's got
scary.
its own life over there, yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting if they just like Magi Ranger. They release Magi Ranger, which is like Mystic Force, but they just release it with an English dub over it. I
Yeah.
think it would be interesting too if their partnership with Shout expands because this could lead to more things. Because remember, Toei still, I think Toei has like majority control of Digimon, and Digimon is a dub anyways. So it's
Oh
not like
yeah.
it's not that
So
big a
so is
deal.
Yu-Gi-Oh too. Yu-Gi is an
I
overdub
don't
as
know if
well.
Yu-Gi-Oh's involved in that whole thing because I think Yu-Gi-Oh, but maybe because
Well, I don't know if
I
it's
don't think
involved.
Yu-Gi-Oh's direct. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
go
I don't
ahead.
know
You're
if Yu-Gi-Oh is involved, but I'm just saying that Yu-Gi-Oh is actually a Japanese TV show that was came over here and been overdubbed for
yeah,
the kids at the time. But it also was dumbed down because the real Yu-Gi-Oh show. I actually saw a bootleg of this that friend I had from Japan that was also overdubbed. It was not a kids show at all. But again, it wasn't an American kids show. Let's put it that way. It was
yeah,
more hardcore, more a little more adult like, and it was like, okay. And then you would get that same episode over here, and you were like, it's missing a whole lot of stuff, visual stuff, and all that. It was all dumbed down because it wasn't 100% kid friendly for what was it, Fox Kids that was playing it, CW, something like that. Anyways,
yeah.
yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh,
But
Yu-Gi-Oh around a little bit because I think it was like it was on Warner Brothers for a while, right? Like it was on Kids WB, Yu-Gi-Oh,
yeah, I think
and
so.
it,
Hmm.
for like a year it wasn't, and it was on Fox Box or one of these affiliate ones, and then it moved back
Yeah.
to Kids WB, kind of like they did with Batman the
Hmm.
animated series, and then they did Batman and Robin: The New Adventures of
Yeah.
Batman. Yeah, so that'd be interesting though. What Super Sentai could do. This could be good too, as far as growing over there and bringing it here, because like people like suits of Rangers, but they don't want the connection
Hmm.
to Power Rangers, but they just like what the suit looks like. So suit collectors are like,
Yeah.
you could do something else. I think you can have a lot of interesting things. You could probably finish off a
Heck,
lot of, you know.
if he really wanted to bring it over here, I mean, you can go all the way back to 1970s Power Rangers, add the newer day kids from America or even from Japan and have it overdubbed like you're talking about, and upscale the graphics of the old 1970s fight scenes. It'd be a cheap way to get it over to America, and it's an American feel that way. Oh, we have old footage that's been upgraded, to 4K, 8K, whatever the heck it is
Mhm.
now, and all we're doing is replacing the original actors with new actors to have a different script but have the same battles and those really weird 1970 Power Ranger suits. You know,
Yeah.
give that American Power Ranger feel to the Americans without calling it Power Rangers. Yeah,
It'd be interesting
be kind of
growing
interesting.
besides that. Yeah, like what can they?
Yeah,
The obvious like elephant in the room would be Common Rider, right? Like that would be the other big franchise that they have because it's
yeah, but
totally
that was
it's set
actually
Super
that.
Sentai. Common Rider is
Yeah,
big,
they
but
couldn't
it's not for me
they
though.
couldn't really
I
do
still
that though
like it.
because yeah, but they did that over here already and it failed. They did
No, but if
Common
you
Rider.
just
They
do
did
dubs, just do dubs.
oh
Not,
yeah.
not restarting and trying to do a Power Rangers like no, just straight dub
Oh.
with a show. That might be something.
Yeah, that could
It'd be
be.
interesting to see what they do there because yeah, you've seen them do crossovers with Power Rangers anyways with or whatever the Super Sentai version of Power Rangers and the
Oh yeah,
and
I love
the currently seasoned
have you
yeah
did see that little clip where they had the American Power Rangers that had it was still Super Sentai, but they had the American like flag around the belt and then they had the buckle and they're like, "Oh, it's the Power Rangers. Oh my god." And it's supposed to be the Green Ranger and the Red Ranger, but they have like the belt buckle and it's American, like the belt. It was just the weirdest thing. It's like, oh yeah, we're the American Power Rangers and acting all stupid, and the other Rangers are just like starstruck. It was like, okay, this is funny as heck.
yeah. Oh, yes. You know what I did see the other day? Yeah, it was the last two. It was the ending of Dino Supercharged because I hadn't seen it in a while. I just wanted to see the last two episodes for myself now. Bro, technically, Sledge has like three different timelines that could have happened because they pull him. Well, the timelines really start like the last two episodes really make you think like what did we do for 40 something episodes, but
Yeah.
Sledge and Crew should technically and one of the versions of them because I don't even think they even got completely destroyed, but that's that for another day I guess. But next news item here, which is actually pretty interesting too. I'll let you get in on this because this doesn't make any sense, but it just happened. And Hasbro has renewed their license for Star Wars and Marvel. I thought they didn't want to make toys anymore. Why would they renew Star Wars and Marvel? Right? Like I don't know. You go.
Okay. All right. So I'll take this one. So this one's funny. So they might not want to make toys, but they want to make a profit. Okay. So yes, Disney owns Star Wars and Marvel, but Disney is also going to be using their other license, Power Rangers, soon, if that still stays true. So why wouldn't Hasbro want the license to make toys, even if they're not making toys? Because if you have Hasbro as a game gaming company, right, and they still put their name on the new Star Wars game or the new whatever Marvel game it is when it comes out, they're still getting a profit from that. Or if they want to do a HasLab of some sort at any point, they would still need that little offshoot license. And we all know Star Wars is still going to be bigger than most other franchises, and so is Marvel. So, in my opinion, if we look at it as the business side, it's a smart move just to have because they're still making toys, even though they're not making all the toys. They're just standing with more of a collectible toy line with these two than going for like a kid's line. you still have a lot of. I just saw a Star Wars from Hasbro. It's an R2D2 that was like this big at Walmart. That was like $50. I didn't even know they existed. I just walking around the Walmart and they had it. I was like, okay, that's cool. It's a new toy line of Hasbro's, but hey, people collect. I was actually down the aisle when someone actually showed it to me because they were a big Star Wars fan. They're like, hey, look, it's an R2D2 that's. I mean, seriously, it was like that tall. I'm just like, holy crap. And it was $55 from Hasbro. I'm like, this is insane. But again, people buy Star Wars, people buy Marvel. I mean, they know it's gonna make them a profit. And that's the thing.
Well, this is interesting to me, and like it doesn't make any sense considering they want to just be IP holders, right? Because I think
Hmm.
Hasbro owns has at least majority control over Ghostbusters, but they let Mondo and
Yes.
other people toys so they could just like get their checks and be done with it. And
Yeah.
maybe they just don't know how to figure out Power Rangers yet because for what like the next for the last 2 3 years we've been saying that they want to get away from Power Rangers. They don't want to get Power Rangers. They do, but they don't. But they do, but they don't. And then they bring in Playmates to get in the mix. And then they had one guy. Like, it seems very like it's like we're here today, tomorrow we're there, then we'll be back there, and then it's a lot of back and forth, and you're not really like progressing. And I don't know,
Well,
it doesn't make
when it comes to
like unless you're making that much
when it
profit
yeah, yeah.
that it makes profit wise.
Well, when it comes to the Power Ranger license line, that one's kind of a dog subject because it gives people bad hope when it comes to Hasbro and the Power Ranger line. Because I know there's still people out there that collected the Lightning collection for years that are still hoping that one day Hasbro will get back into the Lightning collection. They're hoping. You'll always have those people that will be hoping for that. I don't ever see it happening, but they still could pop up every once in a while, be like, "Hey, we're gonna do a HasLab for this or HasLab for that," because they can. They can. Doesn't mean they're ever going to, but they could. Because they have the full rights to the Troy line. They have the full rights to whatever they want with the Power Rangers. Same thing at the moment with like Ghostbusters. As far as I can tell, they have the full rights to the Ghostbuster Troy line at least. So I mean, it's a business, and businesses do weird things. If they can make a
Yeah,
profit off of something, they're gonna do it. You know, they know like when it comes down to Star Wars, that's gonna be a hot item all the time. Ghostbusters is not. That goes in. A new movie comes out. Okay, we're gonna make something perfect. Marvel is always coming out with something new, almost every year. So that's a hot profit right there. And of course, the other lines, I have no idea. I mean, they do Transformers. I think they did GI Joe at one point, but yeah,
yeah,
it's just a
their
business.
big seller, the classified line, right? GI Joe
Mhm.
has it classified. That's like their number one thing.
Yeah.
Um,
But again, you have to hold these IPs if you want to do digital games. If you want to make like board games or something, you have to have the IP. I mean, they could literally put out a board game of, you know, GI Joe. They could put out a board game of, well, Monopoly. Let's just take Monopoly for a while. They have a Zelda Monopoly. They have a Mario Monopoly. They could do it with Power Rangers. They can do it with GI Joe. They could do it with Care Bears, whatever. Uh, but they know if they own the rights to the franchise
mhm.
of the IP, they're going to get the most of the profit. If you give Marvel the IP toy rights, they're going to see nothing of that profit. They're going to see very little because they make the board game and that's it. And that's not what they want. They want to make a big profit so if they keep the IP, they can make games out of it or whatever and get a handful of the good old fashioned hard cash in their hands or digital coins or whatever you want to call it now. But anyways, so what's the next topic if you have nothing more to say on
Yeah,
this?
yeah, yeah. That's basically it. Like it just seems like very here and there type thing. Moving on, we got two more Ninja Turtles coming from NECA. They got Old Man Raph and Old Man Hunter Leo. Leo is hitting stores right now, and Raph is in the pre-orders. And man, like for this last Ronin thing, they are really milking it. I thought the three other brothers died, leave one. Like now you're just making more versions of like right before
Okay,
death.
so I'm gonna get it. Let me, yeah, exactly. Actually, in the last Ronin, they actually explain how each one of the brothers die, and they're all grown up, they're all aged, and so is Splinter, and Splinter dies in this too, believe it or not. So yeah,
Okay.
the last Ronin Turtles, they actually show how they die, the backstory of it, and why Michelangelo, I'm gonna ruin it for you, is the last Ronin because of the different paths that all the turtles took on purpose made Michelangelo. He tried to find his brothers to help him, and basically he wasn't there on time, and
Yeah.
so he has a basically a mental breakdown in the book to the point where he is kamikaze in himself. He doesn't care if he dies anymore. He's just going for revenge and yeah, it's dark. It is not kid friendly unless you're about maybe 13 in my opinion to read this comic book. If you're a comic book reader and you're like 10 or under, don't give this to your kids because it is very dark and aggressive. But
Yeah.
I guess okay, so a little side note. This is how Kevin Eastman and Peter Lloyd really wanted to end the series, was in this type of style. So when they wrote this book together, this was supposed to be like their final project together,
Hmm.
as far as my understanding. And yes, it is written by Kevin Eastman and Peter Lloyd. The book after this one, that's also part of the last one in series, was not. It was still Kevin Eastman, but it had other people with them, but not Peter Lloyd. So it kind of sucks, but that book is awesome. I own it. It's on my shelf. Yeah, I read it once. I can't wait for the movie to come out. Hopefully they don't ruin the movie, but we'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
I just it's interesting that they keep pulling more and more characters out of this. I mean, maybe they're running out of things to do in the other storylines. Maybe they're running out
It's
of,
possible.
but at the same time, like you really shouldn't have that many versions of these other characters die, so you only have one. Like I can understand making more versions of Mikey as the last Ronin because if he's the
Hmm.
new star of the show, right? If it's the other brothers are dead, he's a sole survivor. Keep going with him. But now you just like
Yeah.
just dip. You make they we talked about this a while back, but they're making the old lady April. They're making her grandniece on a motorcycle, and like the Ninja Turtle
Oh, her
girl
daughter.
babies, and
Yeah.
like you really maybe they do so. I don't know, but it's not for me. The next news item here is what you've been waiting for is Biker Mice from Mars. Pop figures are coming.
Oh yeah, I saw that post. I'm not, as everybody knows, I don't collect pop figures of any kind. I will say I did have one that my uh mother's the children of my mother the children mother gave me a long time ago, but I actually gave it to my son to have, and that was a Green Ranger that had no helmet on it. So it was a anyway. I just thought it was stupid. I don't like Funko Pops. It's just not for me. I
Yeah,
don't know the big head, small body thing. I don't know.
yeah. I mean, I saw the post and you know what? They don't look terrible for what they are. But that is what it is. Next news item. Excuse me. So Super Seven, the 2003 Turtles have dropped overseas. There's been a couple of videos and a couple of channels have been showing the pictures of the figures and things like that. They look good. I mean, they just there's not a lot in the box. So what are you gonna do? You
Mm-hmm.
there for a while now. There's just they look fine, but there's not enough in the box. And I think with that, we're gonna call it for today, and we'll finish up the last of the news next time. Any last parting words there, buddy, before we wrap up the show for one good night?
Yeah, well, typical thing of saying, if you like this type of content, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up with everything CRT. And have a great night, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Good night.